Elliott Wave basic sequence. The market's progression unfolds in waves. The progress will take the form of a 5-wave structure. In a bullish market or uptrend, it will consist of 3 upward movements labelled 1, 3 and 5, which affect directional movement, separated by 2 downward movements labelled 2 and 4. This 5-wave structure and its same directional components 1, 3 and 5 are termed impulsive or motive. The structures are called this because they move the market in a powerful way. Waves 2 and 4 are termed corrective and are counter-trend. The 5-wave structure is followed by 3 waves termed corrective. It consists of 2 downward movements labelled A and C, which is separated with 1 upwards movement labelled B. The complete cycle consisting of 8 waves is made up of the impulsive 5-wave structure and the corrective 3-wave structure. The impulsive 5-wave structure is called the numbered phase and the corrective 3-wave structure called the lettered phase. In a rising market, the impulsive wave moves with a predominant uptrend. The corrective wave moves against the predominant uptrend. On completion of the 8-wave cycle, a similar cycle will occur starting with another 5-wave structure. This will develop into a 5-wave pattern of 1 degree larger than the waves of which it is composed. The 5-wave structure of a larger degree will then be connected by a 3-wave structure of the same degree, completing 1 larger cycle. It may look complex, but it demonstrates the full market cycle and its fractal nature. As you can see, the waves are fractal, meaning patterns repeat themselves and are made up of structures of 1 lesser degree. When you look closely at the substructures, you see the same patterns emerging. Notice how the larger pattern breaks down into smaller patterns. It doesn't matter which time frame you use to trade Elliott Wave, the patterns will repeat themselves due to the fractal nature. Waves can be categorized by relative size or degree. This is useful for labeling waves on different time frames. The following terms are used to label waves from the largest to the smallest. Impulsive waves are labelled with Roman and Arabic symbols. The corrective waves alternate between lower and uppercase letters. In order to help label waves correctly, we must follow the rules and guidelines. There are 3 hard rules which should never be broken. Rule 1. Wave 2 cannot retrace more than 100% of Wave 1. Rule 2. Wave 3 can never be the shortest of the 3 motive waves. Rule 3. Wave 4 can never overlap Wave 1. As opposed to the rules, guidelines can be broken. They should hold true most of the time, but not necessarily all of the time. We will talk about the rules and guidelines in more detail when we look at the specifics of wave structures. Each wave has its own personality and is a direct reflection of mass human behaviour. A wave is formed through mass psychology, specifically through the progression of pessimism to optimism, which follows a similar path each time. Here we can see the 5-wave cycle for a rising market. Let's see how a 5-wave cycle can form in a rising market. Wave 1 at this point is still bearish. It is part of the basing process, and there is no evidence as to where price might be going next. There is less emotion and little volatility as market participants are still short in the market, believing the overall trend is still down. Once Wave 1 finishes, the corrective Wave 2 will present itself. Traders will begin to sell, believing Wave 1 was simply a correction and the downtrend will continue. The sell-off is usually sharp and corrects most of Wave 1. Second waves often end on low volatility, indicating no more selling pressure. Wave 3 offer the best profit opportunities. They are emotional, powerful, and are often almost the longest. At this point, the trend is truly evident for all to see. The wave is steep, with a strong thrust move, which often extends. Once Wave 3 finishes, the corrective Wave 4 will develop. Often price will trend sideways, with ranging and choppy price action. There will be traders sitting on profit from Wave 3 and others looking to get long, many of whom will undoubtedly lose money. The correction generally lasts long and doesn't retrace as much as Wave 2. Fifth waves are the final part of the 5-wave sequence where traders attempt to profit from the trend. They are less emotional and dynamic as wave 3, and the slope is not as steep. Momentum dries up and divergences appear. Optimism continues, but failures can occur, with price not being able to make new highs. Corrective waves also have their own characteristics. Wave A is the beginning of a corrective move and appears at wave 2, 4 and after wave 5 in the larger ABC correction. The characteristics of wave A remain the same regardless of where they present themselves in the sequence. During wave A, traders are convinced this is simply a pullback before the trend continues higher in the case of a rising market. This sets the tone for the wave B to follow. Wave B are known as sucker plays or bull traps. Traders will look to get long in a rising market after the A move down, but they will fail to recognise that the correction is not over yet. The market becomes euphoric with traders expecting a trend continuation. However, the move up is weak without the follow through. C waves are often referred to as killer waves and can be devastating in their destruction. In a rising market, it will wipe out any long positions and the move down will often become extended.